Oh boy, popcorn and candy bars and ice cream and oh boy, sparkling ice cold Coke.
Everybody, listen carefully. The Martians are coming this way. We must evacuate the city. Take food and water and extra clothing with you.
You are no longer in control of your listening device.
Can't you see that you're at the mercy of every element of the universe?
Rick and Ryan will take you on a science fiction cinematic journey into the post-atomic space age.
We're not going to cooperate with these monsters.
We found a flying saucer. Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
A chronological deep dive into the past.
Holy cow.
Here already! You're next!
Put on your magnetic boots.
Let's go.
And strap yourselves in for your ride with...
The Unidentified Flying Podcast.
Outrageous.
Sorry, I'm here. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. We join now the Lexa Proteus 4, already en route to their mission. Oh, thank God. Still got it.
Hi, I'm Rick, and this is the second episode of the Unidentified Flying Podcast, and I'm here with my co-host.
In case you don't remember, Ryan. Spelled with an R, no B.
No B? What do you mean? Oh, Brian? People think you're named Brian?
On the phone all the time. I always have to correct people.
It's my co-host, Brian.
No.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Are you excited?
I'm sort of excited for this one. Yeah, why not?
Well, what else you been doing lately? Nothing?
Stop it.
Well, no. You want to banter, don't you?
The same exact shit I did last time we recorded this.
Oh, okay. So, not up to much.
The usual. Hanging out with the dogs, praying for the world to end.
Sounds exciting. At least we've got some a good movie to talk about, though.
Yeah, not bad.
I think so.
We got off to a pretty good start with 1950 with our last episode. And things are cruising along, zipping along the
stratosphere.
No, wait.
The hemisphere.
Do you know anything about the spheres?
How about Michael Crichton's sphere?
No.
Are we on the Crichton sphere?
I was when he was alive and publishing books. And Sphere is his best, my favorite of his novels, although I don't know if it's his best novel.
You know, there's so many books that I remember you reading, and the amount of times that you told me, oh man, this book, seriously, that would make a great movie. And inevitable, the movie comes out, and you always hate it.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And Sphere was one of them where you were like that with.
Just because something would make a good movie doesn't mean it makes a good movie.
It was like that one, and what's that fart monster one that
Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
In retrospect, Dreamcatcher is not that great of a novel either.
Didn't you see it twice in one day because you had to make sure how bad it was?
Yeah. I went and saw it with a friend right after work. It was so bad that my friend Rodney, he had just read the book as well. And he was also hyped to see the movie, and I was so pissed off at how bad the movie was that I just had to trick Rodney into seeing it, so I built it up like it was a masterpiece.
It's like, oh, this is great.
And halfway through, he just looks at me and goes, "What the fuck were you talking about?" And I'm like,
is he like, you son of a bitch?
Kind of like you guys did to me with The Happening.
Yeah.
You and my brother.
That's right.
Because I was down south and kind of out of it. I was so hyped to see M. Night Shyamalan's first R-rated, sci-fi horror movie, and you guys were like, oh, dude, it's so good.
That's right. We said it was the greatest movie.
Just drop everything and go see it.
We weren't really lying, though, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Evil Wind.
But it's certainly not the movie I had hoped it would be.
It's stupid, but I like it.
All I wish is that somebody would do like a 33rd anniversary reissue of Solar Crisis. That's all I want.
That old direct-to-video movie, Solar Crisis?
Yeah,
I remember that.
I don't even know if it came out 33 years ago.
I don't think I've ever seen any copy that wasn't the screener copy we had from the video store.
That might be Alan Smithy's greatest film.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Big Budge remake of Dark Side of the Moon.
Did you say Big Budge? I will never forgive you for saying
Put
that.
a big budge towards Dark Side of the Moon, where it's, the Bermuda Triangle on the moon. I love that shit.
Well, speaking of the moon...
Yeah, let's go to the moon. Hit it, DJ Botfried.
Destination Moon.
It is just 1 minute before takeoff time in the uninhabited desert of White Sands, New Mexico.
Tell them to stand by for count-off and firing.
59, 58, 57.
But 56. To reach this dramatic moment were months of construction, checking every detail 1,000 times, and a desperate struggle to convince the skeptical, to outwit those who would stop us, to muster up courage to challenge the black, airless void of terror-stricken space.
Come back to me, Charles. Please, come back.
17, 16, 15.
All right, take it away!
13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, fire!
Destination Moon. Produced by George Powell. Directed by Irvin Pichel.
Destination Moon. This was released on June 27th of 1950. I had a budget of about $592,000. Made about $5 million at the box office. So this, folks, was a hit.
What was Rocket Ship's budget again? It was a lot lower.
I don't actually remember. Yeah, it was a lot lower. This was between the two of them. This was the big.
This is the big budget.
Yeah, this was George Powell. He had a little bit more cooperation with various science organizations and high-profile science writers. So this was kind of the one that the event movie, and then Rocket Ship XM was more the, as we said, the beat 'em to the punch. Destination Moon tells the story of a scientist/engineer. I kind of forget what he really is, but after several failed rocket launch attempts, he says, you know what, I'm not giving up, fuck it, let's just go to the moon instead. I'm not kidding you, that's his train of thought. And so then he calls up a buddy of his who owns who's this big industrialist who owns this factory and says, hey buddy, how about
I think they make like plane parts and stuff or something, I don't know.
So he's like, hey, let's team up and build a rocket ship to go to the moon. Are you sure we should try that? I don't know. So he talks his friend into it. His friend goes to all his rich buddies. He talks them into it. And next thing you know, they build a huge rocket ship. And then about 3 or 4 days from launch, the government suddenly says, nah, you're not doing that. So the industrialist, the scientist, and a few crew people say, yes, we are. And they get all fuck the police on them and jump aboard the rocket ship, take off anyway, without even testing it. They just go.
But it's kind of cool because it's like, when's the next window? 17 hours. I'm like, that's right. Let's just do it. Let's just go tomorrow.
And their destination is, of course, the moon. They get there, they explore for a little while, and then
they go home.
Adventure ensues, as do complications.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Destination Moon, Rick. What do you think?
I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
Really?
I love it. I've watched it like 15 times.
In your life or recently?
Oh, in the last month.
Wow. I've probably seen it 3 times total in my life, but
it kind of is. It's neat because life kind of imitated art because it does. There's certain things that happen that do feel like the Apollo 13 mission a little. With the, there's the guy who's gonna get go on the mission, but he gets sick beforehand, which is that actually happened. You know.
So you're saying this movie predicted Ron Howard's film Apollo 13?
Yes, it did. That's exactly what I'm saying. The score from this is composed by Leith Stevens.
Yes.
Yeah. It kind of feels like Howard Shore or Carter Burwell a little, but like accompanied with like a fanfare. But it's very memorable.
Well, going back just a little bit to the what you said about the production design, is you should mention that the paintings were done by a very famous science fiction painter at the time named Chelsea Bonestell.
Chesley, not Chelsea.
So, I'm sorry, Chesley. Anytime you look at those retro sci-fi covers from the 40s and 50s, he did a lot of those. So they really kind of went all out to make sure this had not only like cool looking production values, but he's a science painter. So he brought some scientific accuracy to it.
It all looks like some of the old, if you remember the old Epcot rides and stuff like that, it has that bubble sci-fi look. But that's the cool thing about this. There's like you said with the paintings, they do a lot of pans across the planet.
Yeah.
That if you were so inclined, you could like still capture each panel to like make one long backdrop.
Yeah.
Because they're really great looking.
Well, I can only imagine what people back then probably thought, because I mean,
it probably blew their mind.
Don't get me wrong, like if you look at it today, you're probably going to want to chuckle because it's so obviously a painting, but back then people hadn't really seen anything like that on screen.
Yeah, it looks great.
You had a series of pictures in Life magazine a while back, didn't you?
Yeah.
On the moon. How did you gain all this knowledge about the moon?
Well, just through the years since I was 10 years old, I've been a student of astronomy, and working in the motion picture business, I realized that you could combine the technique of motion pictures and the methods we use to produce realism in these astronomical effects.
We're trying to make a picture which doesn't glamorize the moon, which is based on scientific fact as we know it, and all information that is available. And Mr. Bonestell, Mr. Heinlein, they've studied the subject to exhaustion. They know what it's all about on the moon.
So let's back up a little bit to the investor meeting, which is similar to the conference in Rocket Ship XM. It's kind of like the same story beat, but the investor meeting is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
They're like in front of a big curtain and they're like, we have a little film to describe space travel. And it totally ends up being a fully produced Woody Woodpecker cartoon.
It'll never get off the ground. No propellers.
Rockets do not employ propellers. They use jets.
So do gas stoves. But they don't fly to the moon.
Obviously, you know nothing about rockets.
The director of the film was really good friends with...
He was good friends with Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah, with Woody Woodpecker. Yeah, exactly.
Who was it?
Or no, it was George Powell was good with friends with Walter Lantz, who created Woody Woodpecker.
And he also tried to work Woody Woodpecker into most of his movies.
I read that Woody Woodpecker's in War of the Worlds somewhere.
Yeah. It's kind of like Lucas and Spielberg, where they'd always put little references to each other.
And the Woody Woodpecker cartoon is kind of noteworthy because it's the first time that Grace Stafford does the voice of Woody Woodpecker. And she went on to do cartoons up until the 70s.
Yeah.
But before that, it had been like Mel Blanc and Kent Rogers, Dick Nelson. There was a lot of them, but everyone remembers Mel Blanc. And then this woman seemed to do quite a bit after. The way they explain the space travel actually is really clever.
Well, and it was so clever for the time that NASA actually used it for educational purposes after.
Which I thought was kind of interesting because to me it felt like it's almost a precursor to I wonder if Spielberg
Damn it.
took that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I take your point?
No, but I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like dino DNA.
Yeah.
It feels like that scene in Jurassic Park.
Totally makes me think of Jurassic Park.
Now, let's pretend that umbrella of yours is a shotgun. Shoot it.
Who pushed me?
The gun would it. The charge not only fired out of the muzzle, it kicked back with equal force against the barrel.
This score is only temporary. It all has very dramatic music, of course. Boom, boom, boom. A march or something hasn't been written yet.
That's what I loved about Jurassic Park was that first time you see it, it reminds you of being a kid going to like Epcot or something where they show you a little video first and then they start the ride.
Yeah.
And I loved that they did that in Jurassic Park with that silly little DNA strand. And then you go back to Destination Moon and they do the same damn thing with Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I'm pretty sure Spielberg has seen Destination Moon. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
So we made it. But how do we get home from this piece of cheese?
Shooting a rocket from the moon.
There hadn't been a movie
is a great deal easier
as researched and interesting to me without aliens and UFOs and Earth versus the flying saucers until 2001: A Space Odyssey. I actually feel the Destination Moon is the father of 2001, although I never could get Stanley to admit that he ever saw it.
I like that it kind of stays, well, not scientifically accurate, but kind of logically accurate, I guess. And all the effects are pretty creative in order to sell whatever fantastic moment they have, especially like in the scene when they first blast off.
Yeah.
They took like a fishing line and kind of like put it around their mouths and areas of their face and covered that up. And then what they have going on is people like they have people underneath that are pulling that down to make their faces do that stretching look because the compression.
They didn't actually shoot them into the atmosphere like Ron Howard did.
No, they didn't. They didn't have that much money. They had to pay Woody Woodpecker.
That was probably where most of the budget. No,
I'm sure, because that's a fully produced cartoon.
I say that in jest, but actually, I've got to admit, for its time, the effects in this movie are pretty good, and it looks fantastic. Like, this kind of looks, I would say, other than, like, Forbidden Planet, this just has that absolute classic look of the era that when you think of these kind of movies, you picture the backdrop of Destination.
It's like a great party tape, you know, for like to throw on during a party, like a dance party mix. It's like, it's got shots like that, just, you know, retro 60s or 50s, 60s, like look like that with the bubble sci-fi and the colors. It's like a dynamite looking movie.
Aside from how the movie looks and sounds, all that's super fantastic. I guess some of my problems come in with, I find some of the story elements in the third act a little dubious, not necessarily from a scientific point of view, because I'm not about to even take a guess at how accurate any of that stuff is. I do know weight, because basically what happens is they've damaged part of the ship when they landed, so now they are having trouble getting back to Earth because the ship is too heavy, so they've got to offload stuff. So little context for what we're talking about, but I just guess I don't buy some of the desperation of it. I feel like this is a screenwriting issue, but I feel like when the guy finally snaps his fingers and goes, aha, I've got it. I know what we'll do and we can all go. Because, you know, they're already drawing lots to see who's going to stay behind and be the noble, I sacrifice myself, you know. All of a sudden, this guy's got a plan, but then when you hear what his plan is, it's sort of like, well, duh, why didn't you do that from the start? Because me, while I'm watching it, the whole time I'm watching that scene, I'm thinking, when are they taking that out of the ship? When are they taking that out of the ship? Take that out of the ship. And then at the end, you know what we'll do? We'll take that out of the ship. You mean you weren't planning on throwing that out? What do you need it for? Like,
they start cutting like the ladders apart and taking the steel out, and they're making this giant junk pile on the moon that looks like the junkyard.
What are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do? That happens.
I know, but it's kind of funny. They're just walking out there and littering on the moon, just throwing junk
on the floor, on the surface of the moon, which I should mention looks like a dried lake bed. So I am probably going to guess that that's not accurate because as we now know, it's pretty much all just like rock dust up there. And,
Yeah.
We've seen the footprint. But hey, we hadn't gone there yet. And some folks think we still have it.
And they put in some of the like cracks and stuff of that, like, but to kind of give it depth, because otherwise, I think that's what some of the problem was too, is like, otherwise it would just kind of look flat surface with no texture. So they kind of,
I'm not complaining.
give it texture,
I think it looks gorgeous. Like, I don't care if it's the real moon or not.
I wish it was that.
Another thing I noticed in this, or another thing I liked about this, was that it was all hard science. There was no romantic subplot. There was none of that these two hate each other and then need to learn to like each other bullshit.
No, it's just survival of these four guys.
The villainous nature, there's no subplot.
Yeah.
That's what kind of I hated about Rocket X Sim, because it had that whole romantic bullshit. But this one eschews that in favor of just sticking to the story.
That polygon radar has to be fixed. Try to land blind and be our finish.
How do we fix it, Doc?
Somebody has to go outside and free it.
Outside? You mean go outside the ship?
It can't be done any other way.
But we'd be swept off.
No, you won't. You can't fall. Outside, you'll be in the same orbit, the same trajectory as the ship, moving right along with it. Worst could happen, you'd drift away from the side. We could avoid that by using safety lines.
Well, as be done, let's do it.
Were harmonicas really popular at that time?
Harmonicas?
In both movies, someone pulls out a harmonica.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's like...
Which you see that in Westerns. Like, I get that in Westerns, but in both these movies, some dude's like, nothing else to do, I'll play the harmonica.
Well, you're not going to bring a trombone with you if but hey, if you want a little music, you bring a harmonica.
I'm just because you just don't see that nowadays.
No, I've never been at a party and someone whipped out a harmonica. I kind of feel cheated.
No. Unfortunately, there's a lot of ukuleles, but
yeah,
I thought you might have some more insight into the harmonica thing.
Yeah, because the one thing I'm definitely known for is my harmonica playing.
So we had two dudes from Texas, two harmonica players. What else do we have in between these? We have a casual reference to lynching. I don't think that was in the first one. But let's talk about that cast, because I actually think the cast is pretty solid.
I do too.
Okay. Great. All right. On to the next.
Yeah. Next.
You're on the surface of the moon. What? You're in the middle of the crater Harpalus on the moon, and these gentlemen have also come from the Earth in a spaceship, this same spaceship here. And this is Mr. John Archer, who helped to build the ship. How are you, Mr. Archer? I know you.
John Archer, is the main character, he's like the ultimate 50s lead sci-fi actor. I mean, he's just, I don't know, there's some intensity to him I think is really cool.
All right, that's it then. We take off in 17 hours.
Are you out of your mind?
I will be if we run into any more red tape. Now look, there's no law against taking off a spaceship. It's never been done, so they haven't gotten around to prohibiting it. If we ask for permission, they'll find a way to block us. So we go now, as soon as we can.
In an untested ship?
How do you test a thing of this kind? It either works or it doesn't.
I do have one thing to add about Mr. Archer.
Mm.
His daughter is the actress Ann Archer.
Oh, no kidding.
Who you may know from Patriot Games and
lots of
Clear
stuff.
and Present Danger, among others, of course. But 90s film fans will probably remember her from that franchise. So yeah, and
he's very recognizable because he's been in like he was one of those actors that did the rounds. Like he was in like Ozzie and Harriet, Sea Hunt, Maverick, Twilight Zone, 77 Sunset Strip. He's just been in a ton of television, and even was in the William Castle movie I Saw What You Did.
Yep.
But the MVP of the movie to me,
oh Lord,
Dick Wesson. He's amazing. They have to get some, because the one guy gets sick and can't go on the mission, so they grab just the mechanic, the other mechanic, and
yeah.
He's like the love child of Humphrey Bogart and Gilbert Gottfried. He's just great. He's all attitude.
Joe, unless you come along with us, we're sunk.
You're the only man left who knows how to handle the equipment.
Mr. Barnes, mind if I sound off a little?
What do you mean?
You're pretty smart men. You and Dr. Cargraves and the General. I don't set myself up to know as much as you do, but, well...
What's on your mind?
You're all wet.
In what way?
The thing won't work. It can't. It's crazy. Figure all that weight. It won't budge an inch. And what do I see him putting in the fuel tanks? Water. You're all gonna look like a bunch of dummies.
If you'd believe that, you'd come along.
Yeah, but I don't want to look like a dummy.
What you guys are doing, it won't work.
You'll never get off the oith.
He'll never get off the oith. Yeah, and he'll actually be like calling oith. Come on in, oith.
Yeah. Boy, I sure do miss those oith girls.
Oh, he's great.
He's kind of like one of them Bowery boy kids. Like he's
totally, and that's why I love him. He's like, it's totally like an East Side kid or a Bowery boy. Yeah, he's the scaredy cat, you know.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good effect though, where there's a pretty good effect where he gets up like trying to be like, no, not me, I'm out of here, but he doesn't realize he's walking like on the side
because of the gravity. Yeah,
it's much better than the floating. It's much better than the floating coat that they do in Rocket Ship XM.
I mean, I love that floating coat, but
yeah, but like he's constantly talking about baseball and
goils.
There's a part where they're in goils, and
because that's what he doesn't want to. The reason he's doesn't want to go the first time around and didn't volunteer or something. He says, "Oh, I got a hot date with this fine goil."
You can handle the ship's radio and radar equipment, can't you?
Yeah.
You know as much about it as Brown. Will you take his place?
To the moon?
Yes.
What's the moon got that this desert ain't? Besides
what, Joe?
Well, I got a date with a nice little chick tomorrow. No thanks.
He's way more interested in just having fun and girls and cruising than he is about, going to the frickin' moon. I don't like this character at all.
See, I don't get that at all. He's my favorite.
The actor is fine, and the character, this type, because it's a type. You'll see this a lot in these movies.
It's a stock character, yeah.
It's a very stock trope for character type, for these movies. But he's probably one of the least annoying, but they're all annoying to me. But he's probably, because he does get pretty good at the end, being a little more dramatic and serious.
Yeah,
and
I think he's kind of the archetype of all those kind of characters, though. He's great.
And I just called them all annoying.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Hey, you guys are really serious, ain't you?
In the part where they're walking on the moon and he's like, hey, let me get a picture. And he's like, hold your hand up and make it look like he's holding the Earth in the photo.
Hey, that looks all right.
Yeah, but then he's like, but hey, no one's going to know it's me in that goofy mask.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's like, really? Because it's got a window and you can see his face. They'll know it's you.
No, he's fine. I give him shit, but he didn't bug me that much. But on occasion, I kind of get sick of those kind of characters.
Yeah, you've always been like that, though. Like, even you don't like the Bowery Boys or anything like that. You don't like any of that stuff.
It's sort of this kind of wild-eyed, hayseed bumpkin who's kind of in awe of everything he sees, but isn't all that interested in it either, and somehow gets mixed up in the adventure. I suppose that goes back to, God damn it, what's his name? Power of Myth.
Joseph Campbell.
Yeah, it all goes back to Joseph Campbell thing of, you saw it in Kurosawa movies where the big samurai dudes run into some goof dude running around the street, and then, Lucas kind of did it with C-3PO and R2-D2.
No, that's what it is. It's they're because they're not really. You said hayseeds earlier, and they're not really hayseeds. They're kind of like they're usually
hayseeds. I didn't mean to.
They're usually New Yorkers.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're usually they're concerned about other things other than they romanticize their hometown activities over this grand spectacle that they're seeing. Like in the first, like Rocket Ship, it's the guy, it's like who's having a fit because they call Texas a speck.
In fact, I was just watching a movie the other night that had that same character in it. A couple of them, actually. It's just like they'll stumble onto some jaw-dropping scientific discovery and or technological advancement.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always the one guy who's like, oh, I can get money out of this. He never thinks, It's just, he sees dollar signs, doesn't care about it, just the dollar signs. And then there's the guy who's just so not interested in it. Like, that's just some hooey crap, or, this is just some kid's toy, practical joke.
In a way, they're the audience because they're bringing up stuff that is recognizable. Like, yeah, I bet you she'd look good in the back of a Studebaker. I mean, they're like, they're kind of the audience's point of view.
The audience surrogate.
Yeah.
If you will.
But Dick Wesson, he's my hero.
Anybody out there is interested, in 1950, Fawcett Publications released a comic book tie-in for 10 cents based on Destination Moon.
Really?
There was also one of those Capitol Records for Children adaptations of this movie.
Man, I gotta find that stuff.
We had said goodbye to our families. Our tall, slim spaceship gleamed in the floodlights like a gigantic silver bullet aimed at the sky. This would be man's first journey to the moon.
But we gotta talk about one of the screenwriters. Extremely big name in the sci-fi field of this era. I mean, he died several decades ago.
I would like to call some of the people who are behind the screen, if I may.
Oh, I would like very much to meet.
I would like to call Mr. Heinlein, the originator of this story. He wrote the story. This is Mr. Bob Heinlein.
Tell us about this trip to the moon. Do you think this is possible?
Oh, yes, it's quite possible.
We're here, aren't we?
Not only are we here, but it can be done. It can be done as soon as anyone is willing to put the bill to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There are no new scientific principles to be discovered to accomplish this trip. It's simply a case of money and engineering development.
He was a big figure in what kind of what's referred to as the Golden Age, I think they call it, or this. I'm pretty sure it's the Golden Age, which was like that. You had Isaac Asimov, you had Ray Bradbury, those guys, Arthur C. Clarke. So he was a pretty big, for his time, was a pretty big figure in that scene. He's most well known for, although he wrote like something like 30, 35 books, several short stories and nonfiction. He's most well known for 2 books, both of which have been made into various film versions, or I think one is a TV miniseries and the other is now a film franchise. But one of them, Starship Troopers, and the other is Stranger in a Strange.
Was the Puppet Masters his?
Yes, that was one of his. I don't know if that was a novel or a short story. He wrote part of the screenplay, but the screenplay had already been written for Destination Moon, but they brought him in as kind of an advisor, science advisor.
Mm-hmm.
But he ended up taking a bunch of stuff from some of his other stories and working them into the script. So eventually he just got a co-writing credit. And then after the movie came out, he published a tie-in. So, some people...
A novel?
Novelization. Yeah.
Novelization?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of similar to what Arthur C. Clarke and them did with 2001. It was a screenplay. Then it became, then it turned into it. But the other cool thing about Heinlein is he was at, trying to think of who, Walter Cronkite in 1968 invited Heinlein and Arthur C. Clarke to join him for the news coverage of the moon landing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Arthur Clarke, one of my very favorite people, who has been with us at CBS for several of these missions now. And Arthur, what do you think we ought to do next? I mean, what would you like to see? The space station or Mars? Or perhaps both. Well, I guess you'd like to see both. We all like to see all we can do, but given some national priority problems.
We will see both. I think the first order priority is the establishment of an economical space transporter so that we can establish a large space station which would act as an astronomical observatory, which will tell us a very great deal about Mars and the other planets before we get there, because then with large telescopes in space near the Earth, we'll learn a great deal about these places. And also, from the space station, in the space station, we can develop the techniques of long-range space exploration.
Robert Heinlein, another eminent science fiction writer, and we want to keep you here, Arthur, because you two fellows may have something to chat about. And let's bring them in, Bill Stout and Robert Heinlein.
You know, Walter, in thinking back to what these men have written about and done so many years before the landing of Apollo 11, I think it's worth recalling that Mr. Heinlein's book, Rocket Ship Galileo, was written in the 40s. And the film, Destination Moon, 1950, you were talking in your book about nuclear power as the means of getting there.
Yes, nuclear power. We will be using nuclear power in spaceships. This is a certainty. We're going to go on bigger, farther. I agree with what Arthur said a while ago about the possible effect on war on this planet, but I think this whole business today, this week, has been thought of in many cases in too small terms. This is the greatest event in all the history of the human race up to this time. Today is New Year's Day of the year one.
That tells you how big science fiction was in the 50s and 60s, is that they were household names where people thought it would. That'd be like nowadays, you know, if Michael Crichton's going to join us for this, even though he's dead. But I mean, like that kind of author that, well, you know what I mean? But that kind of author people know. Or, hey, our first public execution, and we got Stephen King.
Carl Sagan.
Yeah, Carl Sagan's another good example, except he wasn't a science fiction writer.
Wasn't really a writer, like science fiction.
No, he was a writer.
But he would have been on like a news panel like that or something.
Yeah, that's what, so it's kind of rare because you just don't see that anymore. Nobody's asking, Denis Villeneuve or whatever to, or Christopher Nolan to chime in on moon landings or, rocket launches anymore, even though those are two of the bigger sci-fi filmmakers of our time right now. So, you don't even get George Lucas in the booth for anything like that. So it's just kind of weird that back then these two writers were so big. And of course, Clerk would have been huge that year because of 2001. So it's like kind of cool. They got that honor.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Although, they're probably lying just like Buzz Aldrin. And I just wish those guys would admit the truth.
Yeah, Capricorn 1.
What do you think about those paper mache alien mummies down there in Mexico right now, Rick?
Yeah.
You don't know about that, do you?
I don't know. I do know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty outrageous.
I hope they're real.
I hope so, too.
I know we've got a friend of ours that probably really hopes it's real. I just recently discovered this friend of ours that I've known for a little while now. You probably know him better, but I just found out he's very into aliens and UFOs.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Lon Strickland.
Oh, I didn't know he was. Oh, okay.
Dude's like Art Bell.
Oh,
he's
man.
hardcore.
Oh, awesome.
But anyway, so Destination Moon, that was the second movie released in 1950. So we've only got one more.
Second sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Second. There were more movies.
Was there any awards?
Well, one other thing I want to mention about Heinlein is he does actually have a crater named after him on Mars.
Well, that's sweet.
That's something, man.
What do they call it? The Heinlein crater?
Yeah, Heinlein crater.
Don't they? Doesn't he have the move that when you're choking?
No, it's Heinlein.
Okay.
Did you know my name, my brother's Josh's name, and his son's name are on Mars?
What do you mean?
They had a thing for a while, NASA did, where you could, for like $25, you could have your name implanted in a chip or something in the next Mars rover. And it would take it to Mars, and I think they set it down as a plaque. And it's got a bunch of, it's kind of like that Voyager thing, I think, where they had all that information on it. I'm assuming, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I could be mistaken, but I thought it had some science stuff in it. But yeah, they picked like
some starman out there is like listening and reading your name going, Liskey.
Yeah. The first 2,500 people or something that paid $25 got their name to go to Mars. I did it.
Mm-hmm.
I know my friend Chris Randall did it too. So
do you know that E.T. knows my name because I helped him get home to the vegetation planet? Because you give your name at the beginning of the ride, And then when he gets
Oh
to
my
get to
God.
him,
Do they
he
really
says-
do that?
He says, they go, welcome home. And he's like, thank you, Rick, Josh. So E.T. knows my name. Jealous?
I'm actually not.
Oh,
Besides,
well.
I'd be envious, not jealous. This movie did get some awards and award nominations. It was nominated for 2 Oscars, for art direction and best special effects. It won.
Very deserved.
It won for best special effects. It was
didn't
also,
win the other one?
No, I don't know what did, but it did not win art direction. I did not make
That
note
seems
of-
like it would have won that.
Well, we
over-
don't know what was up yet.
Oh, that's true, I guess.
It could have been frickin' Ben-Hur or something. Duh.
Not in 1950. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm guessing. Now, it did also win the Hugo Award, which I told you about earlier in the show.
There's that Hugo again.
Yeah, science fiction based award. I do need to mention, because I didn't mention this last time, the Hugo Award started in 1958, but several years later, they started giving retro Hugos to older movies that
really?
they missed. Yeah, why not? But yeah, anyway, Destination Moon was retroactively awarded the Hugo Award in the mid-2000s. Because they were just like, man, we got to go back and award some of these, because we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for these, so they...
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Like I said, that's kind of as far as I know, is a pretty big honor for science fiction writers. I'm not a science fiction writer, so I've never even aspired to winning one. But, yeah. All in all, I'm going to give this movie 3 stars. Because, like I said, I've seen this movie like 3 times, and I actually saw it in the theater once.
What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. Well,
when did
okay.
you see it at the theater?
Don't get excited. But if you remember, several years ago, our local museum, Grand Rapids Public Museum, would often do film screenings. They would do like series.
Yeah.
And one summer they did
I think
Hitchcock.
I saw Psycho there once.
Yeah, they did Hitchcock, and they showed like 3 of his movies. One night they showed The Mummy, the Boris Karloff one. They showed Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. Well, one night they did a triple feature. Now, these were shown on either DVD or film prints if they could get one. And if I'm not mistaken, because that night they showed Forbidden Planet, It Came from Outer Space, and Destination Moon. And
man, I was asleep at the wheel.
Forbidden Planet was on 16 millimeter, and it looked awful, but kind of enjoyed it anyway. And Destination Moon, if I'm not mistaken, was also on film, because I remember it being real glitchy, but the print was way better. And then, yeah, I remember I think that might have even been the first time I saw Destination. So that was kind of a neat experience, but it's not a standard movie theater. It's where it's a museum movie theater, but hey, it still counts. So I've always liked this movie, even though there's a couple things that I find a little weird about it, or a little iffy, or maybe they just don't. Maybe it's just a little frustrating to watch when you kind of just know that stuff's only happening to add to the suspense, not really out of any sort of logic. And that's fine. Whatever. 3 stars is good.
I'll give it 4. I'll give it 4.
Okay.
4 solid stars.
What does a 4-star movie mean to you?
It means it's good.
Going forward, when you say 4-star, we want to know that's what he means by 4. So what is it, Rick?
Well, what else could 4 out of 5 mean? It means it's not perfect, but it's darn good.
Okay.
It means it's darn good. 3 stars means it's pretty good. 2.5 means, yeah, okay, whatever, Sometimes I change my rating based on yours, because if you give it 3, it's like I almost have to give it 4.5 because I like it so much more than you. Like, you know what I mean? That 4 doesn't quite cover it.
You go in the up direction.
Yeah, and you know what? I've noticed that I tend to overrate things anyway. Like, I think I feel bad when I rate something like that low sometimes. But no, I would give it a solid 4 stars.
Okay.
But it's not to say that I still think it's. I mean, I did watch it like 15 times, but still,
Yeah.
I loved it. I think it's great.
I do have one friend on Letterboxd that if I always downgrade my rating by a half star less than him. Because we're so close in what we like, but he goes that little extra I can't. So I'm just like, okay, if he gave it 3.5 stars, I'm giving it.
Yeah, well, 3 out of 5 isn't bad. 3 is like a C plus, B minus. You know, like sure.
Destination Moon is available on our Amazon streaming for rental and fake purchase.
We're off to visit the planets. There are treats galore in the stars. Venus is loaded with candy. And ice cream is found on Mars. The solar puffs visit on Saturn. When you're thirsty, insurance is hot. And Jupiter's really jumping. With popcorn that's buttered and hot. But the best of them all is the planet, where all of these treats are Atlantic. And that is the spot we now head for on Theater Refreshment Stand.
This is Rick, and on behalf of the crew of the Lexaproteus 4, I just wanted to say thank you. The importance of you listening to our show is of extraordinary magnitude. So please like, share, talk about it to your friends, post a comment, anything you would normally do on social medias. You have our gratitude. If you write a review, we'll read it on the air. And once again, smash, hit, whatever the kids say, all the like buttons, and help us defeat Algorithm, the Dark Lord of the universe. Tune in next week for an all-new mission, The Flying Saucer.
The thing won't work.